Okay, so this is how we calculate the perimeter of a sector, and then we have to obtain the arc length, and then we need to add the r's if they are enclosed with that r. If they are not, we cannot blindly add those two r's. There might be like this kind of shapes as well. Maybe this is an arc length as well as this kind of shape, right? Maybe from this shape onwards, it can go like this. Maybe this kind of shape, right? So we cannot blindly add 2r. Why? When we are needed to calculate this perimeter, we cannot add 2r. Why? Because we have arc length plus 1r, single r, right? And then we need to add this lengths as well with that, right? So we need to be aware about that one when we are adding those numbers, right? So we cannot blindly follow this equation. We need to see the situation or the scenario of the question, and then we need to follow that. That's the basic idea behind that. Maybe this one is also similar to a sector. Maybe we can find out this arc length plus r plus r. So then it will be plus 2r will be added with this one. So when you are writing as well, you need to be aware about what you are writing, right? If you are writing and on the left side as arc length, and then that will be equal to only this portion, this one, right? So that arc length will be 120 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So that you need to be aware about what you are writing on the left side. And then that must be equal to what you are writing on the right side, right? And then after you can put these equal signs, and then you can write or simplify these things and obtain the answer for this arc length. But that is not the answer, final answer, right? After obtaining that arc length, we need to find out the sector's perimeter, right? For that, we can find out the sector perimeter. Then that will be arc length plus 2 times of r. You can just substitute the values, and then we can obtain it as 86. That is the overall understanding of that calculations, right? Okay. Right. Now, each question will be a different question, right? Each one is different. Now, what we need to do is we need to read the question carefully, and then we need to solve the answer, right? Come up with the answer. First of all, if the question is like, we need to add only what is the perimeter of A, B, G, A, it's very simple, right? Arc length plus 2R. And then if we are needed to add like this length, it will be simple. But they might ask some different questions, like what is the perimeter of this empty space, kind of like that. You need to be careful, and we need to read the question carefully, right? Right. So this one is also similar to what I was explaining now. The figure shows two sectors of circles of center A and radius AD and AR respectively, right? A is the center for this AD radius circle as well as this one, right? And then how much greater is the perimeter of the sector APQR, APQR, than the perimeter of the shaded region, shaded region like this one, BPQRDCB, this region, right? So we need to find out this one. So this one you can cut like wherever the place, and then you will obtain some kind of length. After that, we need to obtain this length. You have to cut somewhere else and obtain the length. Then that will be like this. And the question is very simple. What is the difference between this and this? We need to subtract this length from this length. That is the question, right? So first of all, we need to understand the question. What is the question? Then only we can tend to answer that, right? When we are adding the question, when we are writing the question, first of all, the approach is, I'm just telling the approach. I'm not going to do the question exactly. I'm just telling you the approach on all the questions, not only for this perimeter question, right? When the question is like this, right? What we have to do is we have to write what is asked initially, right? So initially you have to write the question or the problem that needs to be solved. As an example, like it is asking how much greater is the perimeter. You can write it, right? I'm just writing the greater perimeter of the sector APQR than the perimeter of the shaded region is equal to. You have to write like that. Is equal to, right? You have to write it like perimeter of this one. A, P, Q, R minus A, D, C, B. Is it what they have asked? The perimeter of the shaded region. Yeah, no, it's not like that. It's like this one. B, P, Q, R, D, C, B, right? Perimeter of this one, right? They are asking total minus this portion, minus, right? So you have to write the question like this. This is the answer. This is what you need to find out, right? And then you can maybe ask if it is unknown, you can ask a question mark like this, and then keep it as it is on the answer sheet. Now we need to find out, maybe we can put directly equal signs and we can continue that question. Or maybe if the question is difficult, maybe it needs some different steps to be followed. And then we can write it one by one. Maybe perimeter of this one, maybe perimeter of this one. And then after we can write it perimeter this one minus this one, and that is the answer. Likewise, we can proceed, right? Okay, so now I'm going to proceed with like step by step. So therefore, it should be written somewhere else. I'm just clearing it. Perimeter of A, P, Q, R. A, P, Q, R, A is equal to, we know that, how much? Arc length plus 2R, right? So arc length plus 2R. Arc length is how much? 45 divided by 360 times 2 times pi. You have to write it as an equation like this. 2 pi, I'm putting it as capital R, or maybe you can write it as AR. Likewise, AR. We have to put a bracket like this. AR. That is the arc length. Whatever I have written is equal to this black mark. After that, I have to add this point, like it will be AR, plus we have to add this portion, like AP. This is the answer for this APQR perimeter, right? And now we have to simplify this equation. It's very simple. We can substitute the values and simplify it, right? So it will be 45 divided by 360. It will be 90. If you double this number, it will be 90. 9 times 4, it will be 36. So it will be 360. So therefore, it will be 1/8. 1 divided by 8 times 2 times 22 divided by 7 times, this one is 7 centimeters. I'm not putting 7 centimeters, just putting 7 here. Plus 7 plus 7. Here there is a problem. Maybe in some kind of social medias, you will see this kind of question and put, indicating like 90% of 99% of students fail this question. Can you answer? Likewise, these kind of questions are there on the social media. Why? Because we need to follow, when we are solving this kind of questions or the problems, we need to follow a rule in mathematics, right? The rule that says we need to follow like The way is called as BODMAS, right? BODMAS, right? I am adding it as BODMAS. Before you apply the BODMAS, you have to simplify it, right? We'll talk about this later. Let's say it as BODMAS, right? Okay, so in this BODMAS, it's bracket. If there is a bracket, we need to solve that bracket first. And then if there is off kind of questions, and then we need to solve that one. And if there is division, we need to solve that division. After that, we need to solve multiplication. After that, we need to solve addition. After that, we need to solve subtraction. This is the order or the way that should be followed when we are solving this equation or the questions. Why I am telling like this is we cannot add this 7 and this 7 here. That is the problem. That is where the students make mistakes. They might think like, okay, 7 plus 7, it will be 14, plus 7, it will be 21. So all these things will be 21. No, that is wrong. Why? Because we need to follow this rule. That rule says like, okay, we don't have bracket over here, but actually there is a bracket over here, but no matter. And then we need to divide it, right? If there is division, we need to solve the division. Okay, we need to solve the division. Like this one and this one can be cut off. So then it will be 4 will be remaining here. And then on the 4, we can cut line like 2 will be remaining. 2 has been cut down. So 11 will be remaining here. And then 2 will be remaining here. Right? Now we can, that is how we simplify it. Right? And then that says we need to solve the multiplication. Right? Multiplication and division can be done as a single part, like can be done as a group, right? So here that's what we are doing, right? So here we can divide this 7 and this 7, so then they will be cut down, right? Okay, so then the remaining portion will be how much? On the top, 11 will be remaining. On the bottom, 2 will be remaining. Therefore, 11 divided by 2 will be remaining. After that, we have what? Plus 7 plus 7. Plus 7 plus 7. I'm not touching it, just writing it as it is. So then I can put equal sign because this and this are equal. So then I can put equal sign over here. Now, how much it will be? It's simple. We have to divide this number. If it is not divisible, and then we can add the rest of the things, right? It will be 3.5, right? Okay, it will be 3.5 plus 7 plus 7, it will be 14. So 14 plus 3.5, how much? It will be 17.5 centimeters. That is the value of the perimeter of APQR, 17.5. Right? So we need to follow this BODMAS method. If you add 7 plus 7 and plus 7, it will be 21. And then 21 divided by like this, it will 66 divided by 2, 33 or something. If you do it wrongly, you will get an answer like 33. That's wrong. That's not the way, right? So first of all, we have to solve bracket of division, multiplication. Then we need to touch addition and subtraction. That is the order. Okay, we found that answer for this perimeter is 17.5 centimeters. Then after, we need to find out this portion. Right? How can we calculate? It's very simple. We can write it as like this. BD RQP is equal to, perimeter is equal to this perimeter. Like I can add it like this. BD plus DR. I can write it like this. Plus RP. RQP. You can write like RQP, right? RQP plus BP. We can write it like this way, right? So now you know that BD is equal to how much? It will be 3.5 plus BD. BD is not equal to 3.5. This length. This is an arc length. So then it will be 45 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. 2 pi r plus, right, plus dr. Dr is equal to 3.5 dr. And RQP is equal to how much? RQP is equal to same 45 divided by 360 times 2 pi r is a problem. We cannot write it like the same r written over here. It should be a different r. If you written this as a 2 pi r small r, it should be a different r, maybe capital R or A or something different. Right? You need to differ those things. Right? Maybe since I have written this as a small r, I can write this as a capital R. So then it will be 2 pi r capital R plus 3.5 plus 45 divided by 2 pi r. Okay, plus BP. BP is equal to how much? 3.5. 3.5. Right? If you do it in a different way, like finding this arc length and finding this arc length, and then you might obtain the answer for this one directly. But no problem, we can follow this way as well. So here that will be equal to 1/8. So then it will be 1/4. Like we can write like this: 1/8 times 2 times 22 divided by 7 times R. R is how much? R is here, it's a different R, 3.5 only, right? So 3.5 plus, I can add this 3.5 and this 3.5 together. Why? Because I cannot add this R and this 3.5 together. Why? Because this R is dependent on the multiplication. But this 3.5 and this 3.5, they are orphans, right? They are not dependent on these things. So that I can add them together. So then I can add it as 7 plus this one, this portion, right? 1 divided by 8 times 2 times 22 divided by 7 times R. R is how much? 7. Okay. Now, if you solve this question, solve this this one, and then you can obtain the answer for this shaded perimeter, right? Shaded perimeter, not the area, right? Just the perimeter, right? Okay. So we can solve this. So it will be gone like this. So 4 will be there. If you solve this one and 2 and 2, the 11 will be there. And then we can have, so this and this 3.5, 3.5, we can have 2 over here. So then 11 divided by 4 here, right? So 11 divided by 4 will come here. And then we have 7 over here. And then for this one, we can cut this and this. So then it will be 4. We can cut this and this. It will be 11 divided by 2. 7. We can cut 11 divided by 2. 11 divided by 2. Therefore, what is the answer? It will be how much? 5.5 plus this one is like 5.5. It will be 5.25. So 5.25 plus 7. Sorry, 2.25. Yeah? 2.25 plus 7 plus 5.5. Right? So that we can add them together, like 5.5 plus 2.25, it will be 7.75 plus 7. So then it will be 14.75. Right? So 14.75 is the answer for this one. Right? So initially we obtain how much? It will be like 17.5 minus 14.75. Right? So if you got the answer for this one, it will be 2.5 plus 2.75, right? So then the answer will be 2.75 centimeters. Likewise, you can calculate this. If I made any kind of calculation errors, you can correct it, right? Okay, so that is how we calculate this one. And you can continue working on this miscellaneous exercises as well. Maybe you can work on these different examples. And what you need to do is we need to focus on the past papers, right? So whatever the question we have learned, like if we learn circumference or perimeter, and then we need to go on the past paper and do the past papers on regarding that relevant part. Like on the circumferences, we have to solve each question in the past paper, right? So that is how we learn it. If we learn in that way, and then mathematics will become easier, right? So we can earn more marks on that. So hope it is clear. We will meet on next session, right?